Hello, welcome back to Death Ensemble. My name is Phil, and I am otherwise known as Big Evil. It has been a long time since we put out anything under the Death Ensemble name here, but I want to introduce us to a new series here. This is the first video vlog of a literary review that I'm doing for Death Ensemble here. And I'm going to review a short novella by a gentleman named Dave Musson. That's Dave Musson, Musson. Give you a little background on Dave. He's been on YouTube for the last 4 or 5 years, posting videos basically mainly about Stephen King. He has given reviews of all of King's novels, from Carrie chronologically all the way to, I believe, the newest one. And he's also done a complete run through, well, not complete, almost complete run through Stephen King adaptations from Carrie moving forward. He has a few years worth of those left. He also does reviews on short stories on from Amazon from authors, and short story collections and novellas and the like. And I think he even does full novels. He has turned me on to some of the literature on my Kindle, and I very much appreciate that. And what I love about Dave is he's very articulate, intelligent, and he's got a sense of humor. He keeps it real, and he's not afraid to call something crap when it's crap. So that's always welcome as well. Dave happened to put out a vlog over the weekend introducing his new novella, Winning Ticket. So I went and downloaded it instantly off on my Kindle, and then I went and read it that night in one sitting, and I got to say, I am impressed. Not only is Dave a great critic and a lot of fun, but he's also an excellent author from what I've seen so far with this story. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Winning Ticket. I'm going to review the short story here. Novella. I keep saying short story. Sorry, Dave. My apologies. I'm going to review The Winning Ticket here, and I'm also going to steal a page from Dave's book, not literally, mind you. But when he does his weekly reviews of Amazon stories and short collections from other authors, he always tries to connect them to a Stephen King story. I'm going to do that the same here, and I'm going to connect it to one that I have a very personal connection to. So we'll talk about that toward the end. Anyway, poor Marcy, and I don't mean that literally, especially after she finds a winning lotto ticket. She actually is decently well off. She seems to be middle class at the start of the story. She lives in a small apartment or a house in England, and she has a mother and a best friend. She has a job as a physical trainer at a gym. She seems to be doing all right, but everything's kind of bland and boring until she goes and finds a winning lotto ticket at the bottom of her recycling bin. And gotta say, I don't gamble really. Never have. Never been my thing. And after reading this story, I am definitely happy about that. That has confirmed that I should stay away from lotto tickets, roulette tables, and those sorts of things. So what happens here is that she reaches out to the local lotto office, and she gets a setup where she's going to have some people come over. There's going to be a small press junket. They're going to take pictures. She's going to hold up the giant check and basically a giant bottle of champagne bottle and pop the cork. And this is the beginning of poor Marcy's downfall. So she meets these three women called the Champagne Trio, who are sent by the lotto office. They are perfect caricatures. They're these plastic women, these phony women who have ultra wide smiles and seem to be only living for the lotto, and that it will be their demise, unfortunately. So, what happens is it goes very, very wrong. And then, okay, this just doesn't go with the three lotto women, it extends to a number of other people in Marcy's life. Now, got to tell you that I was fascinated by the way Dave set this up. First off, there's a lot of humor in it because of the way the deaths go. And, we shouldn't laugh at death, I guess, but you got to mix some tragedy with some comedy, and Dave has a very deft hand at that. Also, I found it fascinating that each of the deaths, when I got to the first death, you don't know that. The first few deaths, you don't know that are coming. You don't see it. I didn't anyway. So I didn't see them coming. So as I'm reading about the Champagne Trio, we go on to the next chapter, and I'm like, oh, 27. Isn't that one of the winning lotto numbers that Marcy found on the ticket Marcy found? And Turns out that each of the series of deaths here is related to one of the numbers that Marcy found on the lotto ticket there. Okay. And Dave does a very skillful, adept job of crafting that into Marcy's life, Marcy's relationships, and how those numbers are going to play out in Marcy's downfall and demise. Okay? So the first time I had no idea what was coming. Once I got to the second one, I had a little inkling. And by the time I'm in the third one, now I'm anticipating how or when or if this death is going to come. And Dave, again, did an excellent job with that. I was very happy reading that. And really, as I've said earlier, poor Marcy, all she did was find a lotto ticket, and this is going to bring about poor, very, very bad things in her life. To the point where you get to the number, the last one is the number 8 after the other 5 numbers are played out. And Marcy goes about trying to pass off this curse, trying to rid herself of it. And when she doesn't, and finds out she's pretty much sure she's unable to, she finds a way that maybe she can share in that with other people as opposed to having to absorb all this herself. Dave does an excellent job with this. I'm going to say if it's a 5.5 5 out of 5, I would give it a 5 on a 5 scale. This is some excellent short story novella writing here. Dave has a great touch with the way the story progresses. He deals with the cursed object. The cursed object has been around in literature for thousands of years. He does a fascinating job with it, attaching it to this lotto ticket and how that plays out. And he keeps the story rolling, and I was there the whole way. It's really intriguing to see how this plays out for poor Marcy and those around her. So, I told you earlier I was going to connect this to a Stephen King story, and I'll connect this to Cujo, which for me is a very, very important story because Cujo is the first adult novel I ever read, and it set me on my path to becoming an avid reader and at one point a teacher. So, Cujo has Charity Cambridge. She is the wife of Joe Camber, who owns the mechanic. He's the mechanic that's going to fix the family's car. He is also the owner of Cujo, a very soon to become rabid dog. And she wins a lotto. It's only a couple $1,000s, I think, maybe in the 80s. It didn't even seem like it would be big back then. But it's enough for her to take her son and go on a trip to get away from her abusive, loud, angry husband for a little bit. And that ends up having the exact opposite effect. It takes her away from the tragedy and the death and the devastation, whereas this ticket leads Marcy right into that territory. So I'm wondering if Dave had that in mind. I wouldn't be surprised that would be the case. Anyway, check out Dave's channel. It's called Dave Musson Reads. Dave Musson. Dave is a very talented guy. If you like Stephen King, if you like horror in general, and you're looking for, interesting reviews and interesting critiques and opinions, Dave's got you covered on that. And I'm very happy to cover his short novella here as the very first of this series. So anyway, please, if you like what you heard here today, check out my YouTube page here. I have a whole bunch of travel videos lately that I have filmed with my GoPro 11, which I'm using to film this, and all kinds of other stuff to come. And if you have a comment for the video, please leave it. I always welcome comments, and I also welcome, if you like the video, I'd appreciate that as well. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. I hope Dave gets the chance to see this and that he enjoys the review because I enjoyed reviewing his work here. Alrighty, folks, on that note, have a great rest of your time after watching this video, and as always, be cool. Keep an eye out because Death Ensemble is back, baby.